Pwede na ring laruin sa smartphone sa tablet ang patintero.
Meron ding smartphone game na makakalikasan naman ang tema. At ang mga larong yan ay gawang Pinoy. Narito po ang report.
Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja, Plants vs. Zombies, at Patintero. Tama po ang dinig nyo ha, ang paboritong laro ng maraming Pilipino sa kalsada, pwede na ring laruin sa smartphones at mga tablet.
Maganda po. Medyo challenging po. Madaming players at pwede pong mag-ipon ng maraming pera.
At ang mga gumawa, mga Pilipino syempre. 2011 nang buuin ito ng Zino, kumpanya ng mga Pinoy independent game developers sa Apple iOS at Google Android.
Siguro naging inspiration namin is karamihan ng mga gawa natin is na nakikilala lang sa ibang bansa bilang sa mga like sa Japan. So naging inspirasyon sa Zino Games na hindi lang tayo parang most of the time behind the scene. So basically, nakikita ko sa founder ng Zino na ito yung magiging daan para mas makilala tayo sa larangan ng creative industry.
Proudly Philippine-made din ang Windows mobile game na Chirp na bagay rin sa bahaing Pilipinas dahil sa tema nitong makakalikasan.
You will see the environmental effect of your actions to the community that you are helping build.
So, naging bird siya. He was turned into a bird because he's harming the environment. So, the only way for him to return back to a boy is if he makes the environment clean, green, healthy, and wealthy.
Hanggang 8
Ang laban para sa kalusugan ay hindi pa tapos. Kapag mahina ang katawan, pwedeng
Welcome back to Future Perfect Tech Shorts. The Philippine-based game developer Zino Games has released what it claims is the first Filipino horror game. It's called Nightfall Escape, with a storyline pitting a young Filipina journalist against a collection of mythical Philippine creatures. Nightfall Escape was released in the early access catalog of Steam, the world's largest online gaming platform. You'll get to know more about the game from the founder and CEO of Zino Games, JD Abenaza. JD, thanks very much. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And I hope you enjoy our little Halloween setup here in Future Perfect. Actually, what you're hearing now is the background sound effects of the game itself.
Yes.
Nightfall Escape. So, JD, how long has Zino Games been in the game development business?
We turned 7 years just this September of 2015.
Yeah.
We started around 2008. And we are one of the pioneer in mobile game development. And when we started, we initially providing outsourced services for well-known Japanese game studio and some other Australian and American game studio.
I see, but you never developed your own game until now.
Well, we already have 11 regional games.
I see.
From time to time, we, as much as possible, because my vision for the company is to develop regional Filipino game that all inspired from our culture.
Alright.
So in 2010, we released one of the first Filipino team game on mobile. It's called Patintero Playtime.
Patintero Playtime. Okay.
Yes.
So, but finally, that led you to develop this game, which is Nightfall Escape. And Zino Games is touting this as the first Filipino horror PC game.
Yes.
Okay.
So the idea came out from my inspiration since I was a kid. I'm an avid fan of horror movies.
Hindi ka naman matatakutin.
Well, initially, most of the time, my auntie, all my they usually
They'll tell you stories.
tell me story. Even my grandpa.
To scare you.
Yeah, to scare me.
When you thought of developing Nightfall Escape, where did the storyline come from? Why did you choose the protagonist to be a Filipina journalist?
Well, we all know Juan de la Cruz. So the name of the protagonist is Ara Cruz. He came from the combination of inspiration from Cara Cruz and some, of course, Juan de la Cruz needs to have a counterpart. So,
so the female version.
the female
is Ara
version,
Cruz.
Ara Cruz.
But why did you make it a female? Why not a male protagonist?
Normally in a horror game, usually the protagonist is normally that being I experienced living in the poorest part of Manila. In the beginning, my dad works as a security guard. And then later, he get promoted to a full-time employee in automotive industry. So we moved to a small subdivision. There, I get to experience playing all types of traditional Filipino street games. Compare nowadays, everything is digital. And a lot of parents are complaining at that time because they thought that's not important part aside from the main subjects. But I get to enjoy learning, hacking, and also playing in a computer laboratory. In my high school days, I discovered a lot of technology such as IRC chat. It's an old chat system. Long time that there was no Snapchat or Facebook. I even also become part of different community forums, particularly on IT, software programming, web development, and other serious IT. So when I was in college, on my third year as an electronics computer engineering, in the first place, it's not my first choice. I always end up going to the computer science library instead of studying more on the electronics. It's my first choice. It's not my first choice. It's my dad's first choice. So I told him that I'll quit that course. But later, I became an entrepreneur prior to finishing my degree as a computer science. But all of the experience I acquired through the industry. Then I got a professional career as a software engineer. Then I worked for 4 years of working on multiple IT jobs, doing part-time at the same time. I get to enjoy advanced software technology through forums and chat. Initially, I do barter exchange by providing services for free, by getting free domains, free server. You can do that during the time on IRC, even in Yahoo Messenger before. There is a specific groups there. So for 4 years, I've been working as in the industry. At the age of 23, I decided to be an entrepreneur. That was 2008. And then, after providing services to some well-known gaming company, we are mostly subcontracting or providing services end-to-end. Normally, they called it a third-party developer. It's an eye-opener to me to finally create our own regional games. But the challenge is, how do we present ourselves to the global market? So in 2010, I did an experiment. Of course, I heard that these 2 employees at that time, on the 2 years of existence of my company, in the beginning, it's a sole proprietorship. So after launching that in the market, we get an idea, and also at the same time, while bootstrapping, we provide services to at least do some more R&D or research and development. And through the years, just last year, we released this one, Nightfall. The first sequel is Escape, the second is Eclipse on virtual.
JD Abenaza is a devoted game developer who spends most of his time entering the realms of his games. But despite this, he still believes that virtual reality is not the reality.
Good morning, JD. We're so excited to hear your story. Please share with us during your childhood.
My family is originated from the Visayas. So So I was born and raised here when they migrated in Manila. At the time, my dad works as a security guard. Then later on, he get promoted. We get a chance to move to a small subdivision wherein we play traditional Filipino games on the street. And then I was fortunate also to have a rich neighborhood that allows me to explore new video games and upcoming devices during the 90s.
So what was your favorite game that time?
Sonic and Hedgehog.
Okay.
So also Mario, Mario Brothers,
Super Mario.
then different games on family computer.
Okay. Your parents never get upset or controlled you?
Oh well, they control me because I really don't perform well on the academics, except for the video games. Yeah.
Okay, alright.
But as I learned my lesson, because entering high school, you really need to excel. But I mostly excel in math and science.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think those games help you in that math and
Yes.
science?
Yes.
Why?
On every game, there's an embedded information. Different types of game, whether it's an action, drama, you get an information. It's like it's also help you. And there is a recent study that video games can also. It is proven that it can improve the learning of gamers or those who will experience playing games.
So using those video games, what really helps you?
I believe it's when first time I experienced internet and personal computer, because I get hooked up to different forums, IRC channel, read a lot of ebooks. Yeah.
So what was the disadvantage naman, the struggles na children who play so much games?
First of all, I experienced playing 24 hours to 48 hours of playing. My parents normally would say they're finding a way to stop you playing.
Yes.
Yeah. But in a later time, I get to enjoy more seeing the big picture. How does the developer of this game monetize? So that's where I get curious at. That's why I pursue IT, doing programming, and later on produce original creation games.
Is there a good future for gamers in the Philippines?
Yes.
Why?
Because right now the market is already mature. Right now there is a so-called electronic athlete or e-athlete, or some call it pro gamers. It becomes a profession now. So being a gamer at the same time, if there's an opportunity for them to play, see the big picture of making a game also. There is a two path to take. Either you're a gamer, pro gamer, or a developer of games. The problem is the addiction. Somehow when you reach that level that is so addicting to playing games, then you need to call the expert.
But what can we do to avoid that?
It needs to be part of the educational system.
So who will educate them?
The academics. They need, I think with our K-12, it also needs to be part of that, embedded, the benefits of being a gamer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think your best advice for these gamers also, for them to develop themselves?
Yeah. Taking advantage of being a gamer is there are many professions. They have so much advantage doing that.
But also in the Philippines, our entrance is very slow. How can you compete?
Technology side of infrastructure, I cannot do anything. But I can only see. I see the beauty on every beginning of the technology. Now is the best time for us to join this creative industry, because later time, I believe later, when our internet will get more faster and more people into it, it will be a competitive industry. So lots of opportunity right now, while the internet is not that really good.
So what's your best advice for the current gamers right now?
My advice to them is always see the beauty of real world.
So JD, what was your greatest lessons you learned being a gamer?
So I think being a gamer, I learned how to make games, and I see the opportunity. I turned that into a career, establish my own business. I help creation of an organization. So also I contribute in the education, in schools, in SHED. We contribute a new baccalaureate degree. So I turn it into career.
Do you consider yourself a successful now?
I'm really proud of I help my family. I help my dad to be an entrepreneur. I think that's the greatest achievement being a Filipino for me. Right now, I'm helping myself to be really have a significant product. That's why I look forward to have a social impact on my future products.
So what's your best message now to the children?
Find your best niche, get inspiration, and keep pushing forward and pay it forward when you're successful.
So what's next to JD?
I think if I'm given an opportunity with the right investment, I would like to elevate the country in the creative economy. Yeah.
Oh my God, so good luck to you, and here we are.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Every success has its struggles. Every dream has its trials and tests. Listen to their story.
The stock market keeps going up, cryptocurrencies keep going up, NFTs keep going up, real estate keeps going up. It seems.
Is there a future? I hope so. So these are a few fast facts. I don't know how many people are actually familiar with what the Philippines is most famous for, because we believe it's not our beaches or our tourist sites. There are two things which keep the country afloat, the Philippines afloat. One, PM. It's not outsourcing, it's actually now called management. A few facts: our labor force is quite sizable. Unemployment rate is actually not that high, and literacy is quite high in the Philippines. Everybody knows, of course, that in the Philippines, if you can also hear my accent, we are very acclimated to the West. That's in terms of everything, more than just language, art, business tactics, dealings, relationships. We are very westernized. So that's actually much of the source of a lot of our business. If you are PM, it's not outsourcing, it's actually now called management. A few facts: our labor force is quite sizable. Unemployment rate is actually not that high, and literacy is quite high in the Philippines. Everybody knows, of course, that in the Philippines, if you can also hear my accent, we are very... Technically, ladies and gentlemen, we're not calling it BPO anymore. An agreement was reached between all the other associations. We are now calling it BPM. It's not outsourcing, it's actually now called management. A few facts: our labor force is quite...
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the InFocus series of Holy Name University. We are on our 31st episode. InFocus is a series of panel discussions and conversations about course offerings and news about Holy Name University, its program offerings, its colleges. And this afternoon, we're very lucky to have in the hot seat, decorated person that has been seen in the campus of Holy Name University for a couple of months now, working with us. So may I welcome everyone to InFocus this afternoon, and welcome to the administrators, the deans, the faculty and staff, and the students of Holy Name University, particularly of the senior high school taking ICT, and those who are in the COEX engineering courses, and as well as the other students in other schools in Bohol and beyond. So, hi JD, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Vera. Good afternoon to everyone. Hello.
Welcome to
Hello to
InFocus.
everyone all over the world. Sa akong mga parente, sa akong mga kaliwat, Cebu, Bohol, Leyte, sa inyong tanan, mayong palis. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. So, JD, thank you for gracing and accepting our invitation to be this afternoon's InFocus guest, allowing us to put you on the hot seat, which is a standing joke in InFocus, and allowing us to ask you questions. So pretty much earlier, we already had an idea of what your journey in life has been, okay? And from years back up to where we are now. So in a nutshell, we call in our announcement card technopreneur and HNU Fellow. So let's talk about, before we go into that HNU Fellow part, let's talk about that technopreneur part. Pretty much sum up the, how many minutes was the video? About 15, 20 minutes, sum up into a few, you know, like bullets, and then, and if there are still stuff that we have not shown, like like stuff that you have that are still in your computer that you have not shared. You might like to share that with us.
Yeah, I think we've shared a lot of information. So my journey for the last 18 years of my career in the information technology, nahilak kong gamay because so dugay na pala kaayo because it's been really a journey of all the challenges that I had in this industry. So becoming an advocate of the information technology in the creative industry, helping the industry flourish from the national level to the worldwide level, making a dot in the so-called universe of the industry, a 1% of that can somehow contribute to the economy, making and producing jobs, especially in our countryside. So that's really a long journey before before we are here finally in this our Zoom teleconference.
Yeah, I remember that I first met you at the 5th Victor Conference, the
Yes.
3rd Creacon, and the first Bohol Education Summit. I was facilitating the Bohol Education Summit. And that was when you first, like when you shared to Boholanos. There were even students from HNU at that time. This was what year? I believe 2017. Yes, some
Wow.
time ago. And you were presenting about the, your the ones that you presented earlier, probably Zeno and all that to a wide audience. That's a Visayas
Yes.
ICT conference.
And the Visayas ICT conference. Yes.
Yes, and
It's a great honor. It's a
I-
great honor.
I know, and
presenting in the island of Bohol. Yeah.
yes, and having come, because you have a Boholano roots, having come
Yes.
home during that time. Now, and then I worked in the Education Development Center of the Provincial Government of Bohol, and my boss, the former governor, asked me to Google you because I said, there's a text here from, because I was working on the ICT senior high school, and there's a text here from JD, and he said, Google. That's the only reply to my text. And I said, oh my God, he was the one that presented. And then over the few years, you have been coming back and forth to Bohol and, like finding Bohol. Are there other things other than the ones presented, Nightfall, the Zeno games and the Patintero? Are there others that you have not, or would you like to expound on that, or how
I'll just actually mention some of the games. Actually, in the past, we used to provide services to Pokemon, some of the big gaming company in Japan, like Nintendo. So all my hope and dreams when I was a childhood, that all of those came true. So, so I was really fortunate, and like what I've said on that video, like 5 years ago, there's really a huge opportunity sa atong mga kabatanunan. Now, I always say this, that now is the right time to explore and be part of this information technology, creative and innovation, because it is really it will really help you whatever courses or whatever you are going through right now. The digitalization is already here. It's really up to you on how you can upskill and of course explore on all possibility and become a technology entrepreneur or an entrepreneur or a seller, online seller or whichever. In the past, it's really almost impossible lahat eh. Even hit this platform. That's the beauty right now. You can go live selling and offer your services wherever you are.
Yeah, so JD, after the Victor conference in 2017, and before you came home and visit Bohol, and now being an HNU Fellow, what did you do after that time?
Yes, thank you for that question.
You went to
So,
my favorite city, isn't that right?
yeah, thank you for that question. I will never forget on that day. Uh, pag, when I went down on the stage, I was embraced by our former governor Edgar Chato. That was very memorable actually, because we met actually in 2011, actually when I introduced myself to him at the airport. So I guess it's a divine intervention in 2017. So at that time, actually, our congressman right now, Edgar M. Chato, invited me to help and support the Boholano. But at that time, I was committed because I'm about to go beyond my company, exploring Silicon Valley.
My
So I was in
favorite,
the I
my
was
favorite Bali.
in the States for about 2 years, and then 2019 I went back again in the Philippines. Then we met again. So I was doing a lot of consulting, not only in the game development, also in the cybersecurity and many things in the software development services. So I approached him that, sir, maybe this is the right time. I'd like to help our Boholano people share my talent, and I'm actually looking forward to stay in Bohol for good. Then he gave me an opportunity to be part of the first district. So I've helped the first district for the last 2 years, especially during the pandemic. Timing kaayo, when I decided to move in Bohol around January 3 of 2020. So here comes the
The
pandemic.
pandemic in March.
Yes, so ang mga nahitabo, thankful na kahit mga gamay na nakapagsulti nami, practice na gamay, because I was really hoping to be in Bohol, our in Mabini particularly, because that's my roots.
Your
Now
parents' hometown or your
that's
father's?
my hometown. So I established my resident there, and actually with this pandemic, the teleconferences, the digital Bohol, and all the scheduling system in the first district, and of course helping our Congressman Edgar F. Chato in all some related to ICT reforms that would strengthen our ICT. So I was part of that, and now also here in HNU, I offer my service to help, and of course strengthening the capabilities in terms of the innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So
I remember that in 2019 or prior to 2019, because the provincial government, there's three pillars: agriculture, tourism, and ICT. And so we work on tourism with Panglao, and the tourism, that's Turismo, and then we had Escuela Agricultura for agriculture, senior high school, and then we had ICT senior high school. The pilot is in Congressman Malasarte in Balilihan, and I think you helped there. Yes. Also. That's the thrust. Now moving forward to to the pandemic, you also helped a lot, and then offered your services to HNU. Okay, before we talk about that HNU fellowship of yours, are there other things that you want to share that we have
Okay.
missed, or that will inspire our senior high school students in ICT, or even those that are still thinking about what senior high school tracks to take? They're well, they're still in their junior high school, and thinking of college, and those even in college, like what careers they will take into. Okay, so tell us about anything else that
Yes, sure.
we have missed.
So, actually, with the current technology advancement right now, there are more and more talent needed in the outsourcing industry. So, with the evolution of the in the fourth industrial revolution in 2017, I actually mentioned it in the Victor. Now I would like to reiterate it because we are really here now. I don't wanna say thank you to the pandemic, but it fast tracked our progress as a human being, and there are more things to come for all of the talents. I'd like I'd like to share to you in the past when I was in Vietnam. Luoy kayo because we are 1 versus 1,000 developer of software, developer of games. Until now, the government of Vietnam is actually very much supportive for the investor, for the talents. They can even give buildings, they can even provide all the tax incentive. And look at them right now. I'd like to highlight in the game development. They created one of the first, actually, a very promising one. I'm pretty sure if there's anyone watching here, this so-called Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity was created by Sky Mavis. So majority of the development was created in Vietnam. So with this, being in the Southeast Asia, you are with your neighbors, you exchange your ideas. Pero as you move around, makita mo how very supportive. But that's why I'm here. All of the things that I've learned. That's why I joined the government. I want to be part of the solution. So I encourage our young future innovator, our future scientists to flourish here in the island of Bohol. I even, in Silicon Valley, I even met all my idol, even getting closer to, a few steps to Elon Musk, a few steps to Bill Gates' home. I've been there just to be, the feel and, this excitement of we are right now in this fourth industrial uh, it's just in your fingertips. The opportunity is there. It's a matter of how you will explore your talents. Of course, the key there is collaboration. So you can never be, you can never be a one-man island, diba? So it's really a collaboration. This fourth industrial revolution require a very strong communication. That's an essential. In the past, they say that it's really the key for call centers. The same thing right now, communication. So we've reached that stage that it's easy to meet and greet people. So just need
Yes.
to.
I remembered, I don't know so much about games except that I had to buy when my children, because I grew up in Silicon Valley, I had to buy the latest. Every time there's a new release, you have to get that. And my students were, I want to be your child, I want to be your daughter or your son too. But I was pretty amazed when I saw you at the KreaCon or at the Victor conference, because these are Filipino games that you were showing, no? The chicken, what you call that? The chicken run is pretty much like Super Mario. or we can relate to that. And it has evolved, I believe, through the years. So what else? What else do we need to share about the
so
creative industry?
if you can somehow follow the page of Zeno, we have a company is actually looking for talented and those who would like to, you know, play and earn. That's a new thing right now.
That should be the new thing now. They just
That's
don't play 24 hours and not earn anything.
you know, if you watch the video, actually, I'm just looking at that vision. Now it's already happening. It's now a profession. It's really a profession now. You
So
can play.
Zeno is spelled Zeenoh, and we would like to invite our viewers, our senior high school, our followers to check out it's Zeno.com. Am I correct?
Yes, and they can look at the fan page.
Okay.
So watch out for some of the, especially here in Bohol, we're inviting, we call it Scholar. We have a scholarship program for play to earn. And imagine it can also even support your education by playing games. So this type of game is not destructive, and it can also help you strengthen your, your logic, your common sense. So that will benefit you financially and of course mentally. Galing, no? It's really something new now. It's play to earn, and Zeno, my company, is into this industry, the providing platform for the needy, anyone who has potential in the play to earn.
So that's for the technopreneur side. I believe you also have the Z Junior. Am I correct?
Yes,
And
yes.
Did you want to play those? The ABC. I have not downloaded them, but we can share them.
Palihog ako, ma'am, to check in YouTube, Z Junior and then Bahay Kubo.
And then,
Maybe we can talk about that.
Karon?
Yes, yes.
I will have to look for that, or let me see if I can open the downloaded portion of what is the title of that now? Is it the ABC? Let me check if I can find it. Is it which one is that? The AV Reel? ASEAN. ASEAN?
Let me share it to you.
Yeah, yeah. No, share it on the screen. Share screen
Okay,
it.
let me do it.
So that because you also have for the juniors the what is this, educational games?
Yes.
Or a nursery rhymes, I think.
So I can share you some of this.
Yes, that will be interesting also for our audience, especially if they might like to use it for their.
So, can you see my screen now?
It's still purple.
Okay.
Play. Yeah. And you can click on the, like the wide screen. Wow, interesting.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
that
you
is
for
actually
sharing.
that's one of our content before the hype of children content in YouTube. So you see, we have a lot of uh, we have a lot of this
Yeah.
in our
And then they
company.
will just search for these in YouTube and type Z Z E E
Junior,
Junior.
JR, yeah.
For Zeno is Zeenoh. I believe probably some of the students and ones who are watching us are playing those video games, Nightfall and the others that you were able to show earlier. Anyway, so time check, it's 2:45. Did we exhaust all your technopreneur? Bear all so that everyone will be inspired to follow your footsteps. Otherwise, we move on to the fellowship at HNU. Okay na ba tanto, sir?
Yes, yes,
Your
ma'am. Yeah.
okay, so but before you came to HNU, you were also involved in the, what did you call that? One Bohol? Was that what we call for the online thing of the provincial, the third district, the first district? Was it One Bohol? Digital Bohol.
Digital Bohol.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, I remember that. Now, this fellowship at HNU, you started the first semester. I mean, the other January probably, huh? I can't remember anymore. Was
Yes,
it
ma'am.
January or before that?
Around I think November.
Oh yeah, before
Yes.
in
Yes,
2019.
ma'am.
Okay, tell us about that. What does it involve? What are we looking forward to? What are the directions that
Okay.
we have on there? Yes.
So
I
I'd
want to
like
thank
to
you. I want to welcome you officially to the fellowship at HNU. Yes, please go ahead.
thank you, ma'am. So I'd like to highlight also the idea of Silicon Valley. Because a short background about Silicon Valley, it is based in the California, San Francisco, but it stretched along all the
The Bay Area.
the Bay Area. So in
Hayward, Fremont, Union City,
yes,
San Jose, all
yes.
that, my favorite cities. Okay.
So I explore all of those area, and what is common there is really the center of the academe. It is the heart or the breeding ground for this so-called Silicon Valley. The the godfather of the Silicon Valley came from the academe world. So that was the time of the IBM. And of
Yeah.
course, there is another one on the side of Texas, the Silicon Cowboys, they call it. So I also explored those side in the Texas Instrument. If you check Wikipedia or Google, you can know more about Texas Instrument, IBM. It's not just Google. Google was around 2000 or 1998, somewhere there, and Yahoo. So, but IBM, Texas Instrument was way beyond
The
1930s.
forerunner, the front runner.
Yes. So, for me as a technopreneur, these are all essential and important, going through the history, going back to the history, understanding the perspective why there is a Silicon Valley. In the Philippines, we are trying to replicate this through our business process outsourcing. So with that, I think Bohol is actually strategically in the heart of this fourth industrial revolution, and I totally believe, and we share common dreams, especially Mambera, Congressman Edgar M. Chato, with this vision. Because as you can see, in Bohol, if you establish all the university colleges in one area and linked to an international airport, along with the talents. There is a continuous supply of talents. Not to mention, we have foreign, our tourism. Yes, we have this all elements. It's really perfect. It's like Singapore. It's like a hub. So hopefully, our international airport in Bohol will resume very soon because we are really strategic. So in other country before this pandemic, there is so-called co-living other than co-working. So they stay in, this is actually an opportunity if there's any entrepreneur in the space of hotel and management, tourism, as Ma'am Vera, very passionate with this. This is a connection with that. I mentioned about co-living in Bali, Indonesia. It's very popular. So imagine a lot of investor, a lot of tech savvy in the world of IT, or even future employer. So they go to a place at the same time, they look for talents. Yes, so Bohol is perfect for that. Yeah,
So we need the talents, we need the locators, for the locators to come to Bohol. We need the what else? We need the infrastructure. We already have allocated, I believe, the provincial government has already allocated the spaces, identified the spaces for the IT, BPM, the BPOs, but the talent needs to be developed together with that, all of that. So that is where you are at HNU, initiating with, where are we now? The Techno Lab, Techno Hub, and
Yes.
directions, yes.
So
what is our vision there? What is our directions? And where are we now?
So our vision is actually to really expand our potential here in Bohol, right in the heart of empowerment of HNU. So we created a brand, which is TechNew Hub. So we are looking forward to create a brand for this and share to everyone the opportunity in entrepreneurship, in startup, in innovation, mentorship in business, and of course, looking for jobs related to IT. So as of the moment, this would require another session with regards to TechNewHub because there's a lot of things going on, but I'm pretty sure it's exciting for all our potential talents, partners, and of course our influencer for this because TechNewHub would serve as a gateway for all the talents and of course that would create more jobs and empower the academe as more and more teaching professional will also would be at the same time join the industry. This is like a really a hub. It's the academe and the industry melting pot.
Okay, yes, I am with you on that. Very big, like I was in the senior ICT senior high school promotion, and hopefully that the technical working group can firm up the vision, mission, goal, the branding, and even the like all the the 5-year plan probably, and then into the 1-year plan and so on. So I wish you luck and thank you very much for lending your time and yourself, your talent, your your even the passion and the inspiration to do that in HNU, nowhere else. Before we go to the other questions, I'd like to just briefly check here the Alexander Lagamak is watching. Angel always are giving high fives. Angel Cedre, Marjo Molina, Camille May Cobelo, Christian Ramirez Balabis, Felicite Barete, May Kyla, Benis Isabella
Hello.
Amba, May Kyla, Dana Sofia Herago, Edine May Angkol, Mary Grace Mishona, Earl Delihero, Kurt Christian Bongay,
Wow.
Joshua Allen,
Daghan.
Joshua Allen, Cesar Arsenio, Lance Russell Cartagenas. This is their attendance. I'm just kidding. Terry Arcamo, Mel
Shout out sa tanan.
Sevilla, Brennan Daganda, Neil Christopher, J.M. Mac, I can't read this, Macdon, Gwen Marie, Lexine Aba, May Abusejo, Joyce, Andrea, Ma'am Nonet Pabalan, the PQARM is watching, Aliana Ray Orimaco, Mark Christian Anoos, Alexa Noren Ibale, Clara Chara, Bell Ardon Galan, Rudy Digal, Sky Bosrilius, Demi Marimon, Joanna Bonghanoy, Grace Sagaral, Joanna Bonghanoy, Tag, Sofia Isobel, Mifania Drea Sagaral, Hannah Katrina Adolfo Beniz, Clint Macwa, clapped his hands, Jamar, Janelle Honoran, Onandre, James Loud, Jammer, Janelle Onandre, my hope pa ang gaming hobby ko.
Yes, wow.
There's a lot here. James Lau, Najir, Almanas, Giovanni, halahigdaghan na. Basahon na lang muna ko unya. Thank you very much for watching. Lexi Faye, Mia Morales, Trixie, Valentos Maslog, Jade Maghuyop, James Lau. Okay. Roland Faith, Kyle, Dominic, Delarmente, and a lot more. We will, if you have questions, you can chat them now, but we will read and answer as we move along. This live, we are on Zoom, but this is live on Facebook, and this live recording will be in Facebook forever. And both the video recording will be uploaded in the HNU channel, and the audio will be aired in our DYJR. So you can still continue to view that, but for the meantime, if you have questions, we will answer them even if we're already the live in focus is already over, because we will check this. JD, you have anyone else to greet, JD, or shout out to anyone in the whole of HNU?
Yes,
the TWG.
Shout out to Technical Working Group.
Yes,
the
Ma'am
hardworking.
Ami, Lord. Who else? There's Ma'am Grethel. There's Sir Ray. There's Rina Simbahon, and Miss Ingles, and all those who are watching, and especially Father Milo. Father Milo and the Father President, Father Dutz. And you, go ahead, JD.
And thank you very much, HNU, for this opportunity. Actually, it's been a while. I've been in the social media because mostly I work in the government.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scene.
Yes. Oh, so, I want to thank you for starting me up with the Zoom and lending us and helping me, set up all those before when we were touring the different schools. Thank you very much. And
yes, you're welcome, Mambera.
How much it has helped, really.
Shout out to my wife, Mary Ann, to my two
Mary
kids,
Ann, and
Xander and Zayden. So my second child was born in Texas. It's his birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday. Yes. And shout out to my mom, Jocelyn, to JD Abenaza, my dad, sa akong mga kaliwat sa Dusaran clan, to your clan, Balisera, Balles. Shout out Balles.
Mabini.
Mabini, sa akong mga kaigsunan sa Mabini.
Okay.
So umabot. I'll support you.
Yeah.
All the way.
And of course, the first district.
And of course, in our office, first district office, Congressman Edgar M. Chato. Thank you, boss, for this opportunity to be part
come home
of
to Bohol.
Yes, and to my office mate in first district. Hello and good day.
Leah Marchell and Donna and Sir Abel. There's a question here. Wait, how does one join the fellowship? sir and ma'am, there's a question here. You can answer now or you can answer later. But that Jammer, what fellowship is this? Is this about the um, is this the organization or the?
I think maybe he's referring to the Techno Hub or something.
Okay, okay.
So watch out for upcoming updates through
Yes.
HNU. So
Yes.
we will provide a platform where you can share and collaborate.
And
So
all those innovation,
innovation and of course, kung you're looking for job opportunity, it would also serve as a platform through
okay.
the Techno Hub. Yes.
And like the innovation, like that's where we can match with, like probably support, not only mentoring but also probably financial support. Okay, so JD, we have reached that time when I want to ask you, this question. What is your advice to senior high school students, junior high school students, or co-ed students about the ICT industry, or yes, for them about your talent, your industry, and so on. Yes, please go ahead.
So I don't want to be specific with only ICT interests because I think it's really also applicable now for everyone watching who's looking to be part of any industry, regardless of even in the agriculture industry or even in the anything. So the key there is really, I'm pretty sure naka-adapt naman na ta sa bagong changes. Most of our the Zenials, or maybe we're not anymore in the millennials, the Gen Z.
Gen
So
Z.
everyone is already started and almost born in the technology evolution. So I encourage you guys, please support our fishermen, your parents, whether they are mag-uma, they're in the farming industry. Being a software developer, like for example in Japan, I will not mention company name, but I've helped Japanese company in the agriculture industry as we provide services to them. They respect and they have really high respect to the farmer. So imagine if you're into the agriculture, especially in Bohol, if you are in the ICT and you learn a lot in the using the technology, there's so much potential. The farm to the market is not only through the road, it's also through the internet. Imagine the food in the table we can provide, especially during this pandemic. We can provide, it's a business opportunity, help our parents, our grandparents. The moment luoy kayo out of mga farmer because they're getting older. But as I mentioned, in Japan, in New Zealand, and even in the US, they are proud that they are farmer because at the same time, they are also in the ICT. They know how to sell their products. They know how to trade. Would you imagine the farmer are also in the stock market? They do trading. They own companies in New York. Even they are farmer in Texas. So I've met those people in this, So why can't we, we can put this mindset.
Also
So
in
let's
Bohol.
help, especially in Bohol. Let's help our farmer, respect them, and empower them for future IT. I really encourage you to be part of the this evolution. You can be the future billionaire, millionaire, And do not forget to help. And where did you start? Where you started, because we need more people in we need more Filipino, because as may share, in Silicon Valley, the ratio of Filipino versus Indian or Chinese developer is like 1 out of 100, or even Vietnamese. You see, so even nasa gawas ka mo ng nasod, you can also, or even here in wherever you are, as long as you are connected. I'm also hopeful, which is also part of my advocacy in helping Bohol government, and of course here in the country, to bring our free Wi-Fi, hopefully, and we fast track the support of the establishing infrastructure in telecommunication. I'm also hoping for that. And I really encourage you, do not be distracted, or please keep trying. So also, that's my important thing. Na please take note of that. Regardless of what courses you have right now, just always be make the ICT or the technology as your as according to Dr. Jose Rizal, right now your point and click and mouse is really mightier than the pen. This is a new form of our power now. It's through the point and click or touch of your fingertips. Use that as your advantage, regardless of what your status is and your current courses. Keep trying. It's always better to experience trial and error. That's part of being a human being. And because and also do not forget, in our Almighty God is really serve our purpose here in earth, to really explore our talents, and of course be a blessing to everyone.
Wow, thank you very much. Very well said. I believe those are were that your closing statements already?
I think so.
And I have one last question. It's my favorite question.
Sure.
It's not a Miss Universe question anymore. Why HNU?
Oh, okay. So honestly speaking, I've tried also offering my service to all university and college, to be fair, like in BISU and the rest of the universities. So, but I believe and I see really a potential right from the heart of the campus, the big logo HNU. There's something that really, because I am a Roman Catholic, I was born and stay in my religion. So despite of advancement, the gift that I received from our Lord Almighty, so I was really blessed, and I guess it's really a divine intervention as I communicate. It's really it was actually pulled together into in this direction. It's through His guidance, and also not because with Mambera also, because he's very supportive in this movement that can really help our Boholano and our students. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. There's if they want to reach you, would you like to give them your email or?
So I have a fan page.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
JD Abenaza.
Okay, check that out on Facebook. Okay, and this if you wanna also, you have the contact information there. So check out zeno.com or Zeno in YouTube, and Z Junior in YouTube for all those stuff. And the fan page is JD Abenaza, the one that's on his name right now.
Do we have much time, ma'am? Because there's some question.
Okay, where is that? I only saw what does this one. We already asked this. Wait,
The
does
last,
anyone join? How
the
can
last
we
one.
get? How can we play and earn? Okay, yes. How can we play and earn at the same time? Yes.
Okay.
Nona-
So watch out for the announcement in our page. Of course, we're looking for talents. As I mentioned, we call it scholarship. It's not similar to the in school, but scholarship is what we provide so you can earn for a living. So we have this so-called non-fungible token games, so NFT games. This is something new that we are also. I am actually bringing this in Bohol to look for more talents with some of our partners in the industry. So if you have passion in playing, watch out for opportunity and just don't be shy. So just try, as I said, keep trying. If we cannot right away provide you a opportunity, because there are a lot of people actually trying to of course earn for a
So
living, but
where do they go to do that? In the Zeno page or in
yeah,
the
in the Zeno fan page
okay.
here in we call it Meta.
Okay.
So
You were way ahead of the metaverse of
yeah, the metaverse. I was
Zuckerberg.
in the metaverse earlier, and we are
way,
now in the meta.
way ahead. Aside from
It's what?
esport games, how can we earn by playing games?
Oh, okay. So actually, if you're into esports, actually this is you need to look for a sponsor. So sponsor, like for example, in advertising, if you're really good, they can provide you a package. But esport is more really demanding one, because that requires some funding, finance. Unless yun nga, if you really excel on esports, you can win and some reward pool. But of course, that is a stepping stone. Right now, more and more opportunity in play to earn industry.
There's a
So
question here also. Why the name Zeno? And one last question: do game developers take precautions to prevent game addiction?
thank you for the question. Actually, it's a two-word combined, Z, in Urban Dictionary. Actually, if you use that meaning from the Urban Dictionary, and then NOH from a Japanese word is a talent. So the full meaning of Zeno is really a God-given talent. So it's as I said, it's really divine intervention from the divine world, our former name of Holy Name University. Maybe that answer deeper meaning of Zeno.
Wow, thank you very much. And then how do game developers take precautions against to prevent game addiction?
I don't want to answer in general, because as a former head of development in the game development, if you consider the psychological factor, or the because in the past, as I said in the previous interview, as a gamer, I'm not the one who created it, the precaution is really up to the creator and the parents. The role of the parents is important in filtering what the child or the minor will consume.
There's
So
also like ages, huh? That only
yes,
this age can play this
yes.
game. If that is also monitored
We
strictly
don't have similar to the in other country
in the US.
MTRCB. We don't have an MTRCB for games, so that's for discussion in Congress if they consider
In the Philippines.
in the digital,
Okay. So
especially in
so
games. Yeah.
if there are still other questions that come, we promise that we will check every now and then this live broadcast, and JD and I will answer hopefully as they come along. But we have reached the point where we say thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I want to thank the senior high school, the principal, assistant principal for senior high school, and the principal for integrated basic education department for allowing or for announcing this episode to the students, and for the COEX, and for all others who have joined us from different schools in Bohol. Thank you very much. Follow us on Twitter, it's HNU Bohol. Follow us on Instagram, it's Holy Name University. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, is Holy Name University. This live broadcast will be in our Holy Name University official Facebook page forever, forever until it's and then uploaded also in the Holy Name University YouTube channel. So and aired in DYJR 106.5 FM.
Oh wow.
So yes, watch out for that. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant afternoon and enjoy your weekend. Thank you, JD.
Salamat sa tanan.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, with that, we close this live broadcast. Wala. Okay lang. Okay lang. 1 hour and 16. 1 hour and 16 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Okay lang naman. Kasi intro yon. Tapos next time we can talk about kung sana my details na, then we can also do that. Yung sa launch ng TechnoHub.
Ay, nag-enjoy ko na
Lagi.
Nahilak kong gamay.
Sa beginning, nahilak. Pinood?
Oo.
Lagi. Did you tell I will send the link to Kong. Kong. Lagi. Anyway, kanang the links, what I do is, because it's already there, I share this with I share the link to the senior high schools also. Okay. The principals. So actually wider, tingnan ko ngayon ilan
maybe there are anyone from Mabini Senior High?
Oo, appeal man.
Okay.
We have Santa Monica, we have there are four senior high schools.
Ako ang influence ng Santa Monica.
Ngayon, I will check. I forgot to stop the recording.